At that rate, my
All
document.
right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for another adventure in Orland. I am your dungeon master, the Haven Master. And today we continue the travels and adventures of our intrepid party. So why don't we just go right down the line, starting with you, Fish.
Oh,
Introduce
wait.
yourself and
I,
your character for anyone who may be new joining us.
I really need to change my Discord name to something without an A in it. My character is Tarek the Bunbarian, a hard
I love
god
you.
barbarian. I've accepted this at this point.
Barbarian.
Ironically, because of something stupid the DM did, he is currently the most powerful person in our active PC pool.
Shenanigans.
All right, next up we have our homebrew specialist, Mr. Tormy.
Hello, everyone. As he said, name's Torby. In this game, I play Junker, a fast-talking, Irish-accented, kind of strangely born artificer who is bringing guns in a big way to this continent.
So you're playing a homebrew specialist?
But yeah, he's most of his turrets and his guns that were not from a different continent have been, or that have any sort of sentience. He has given names and shapes to that are fitting. We'll see if they come into play.
Awesome. And as always, we have the ever so lovely Duchess.
I play a devout cleric of Pathos named Saravine. Have you heard of Pathos? You need a flyer. She's got one. And she is currently finding some relief because she was able to hear from her god after a brief period of silence for in-game reasons. Because
Reasons we will probably be going over today.
our DMs are a little bit crazy.
All of us.
Yeah. We're a sadistic bunch, what can I say?
Valid.
All right, and we have the ever so wonderful Mr. Excitement himself, Fenris.
Mr. Excitement
Oh.
nerd now.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. I am playing Thorin Longfang, the Lycan Ranger Paladin. See what kind of chaos we can stir up tonight.
All right, so let's take it away. You guys are at the Heartleaf. You have gone through some interesting things the past couple days. Saravine, you were visited by your god
Finally.
and given a very special artifact.
Terrifying. Saravine has been given the Dagger of Divine Strike.
Yes. And you were told that when the time came, you would know what to do with this dagger.
Which is the
And
terrifying part.
if I remember correctly, over the table, you threatened me if it was something you didn't actually want to do.
I threatened you if you forced my character to kill her god. I'll glitter bomb you.
I will make glitter bombs.
All right, let's not get back into that.
The one time I had Dutchie's back.
Right? It's such an egregious thing that even he had my back and was like, nah.
Well, considering my favorite NPC, that is also his god. Now, bad Tyler.
Fair. Anyways. So, you find yourself, Saravine, in your room. Staring at this ornate dagger. Gives off the essence of the divine. Go a little in depth with what Saravine is thinking and feeling and
Saravine, first of all, is terrified to have this thing in her possession because she realizes that basically if the Raven King realizes she has this thing, that is one hell of a target on her back. And second of all, knowing somewhat what this is and what it does, and being told that she's probably going to have to use it, she's also freaking out over the fact of when and how.
okay. As you're looking at it, the scene of your conversation yesterday with Pathos just keeps playing through your head over and over as you hear a knock at your door.
Oh.
Tarek, this is where you come in.
Well, all he did was knock and said shit, because he knocked too loud.
So as you open the door, there stands Tarek.
She'll put the dagger away first,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
then she'll open the door.
Don't stab the barbarian.
Especially with that dagger. That'd be a bad idea.
Right. So she'll open the door and kind of just give him a look. Hey. Hi. Hello.
Hey, Thorn wanted me to come gather up the group to meet down in the bar area.
Okay.
Figured your door was closest.
And he's
Are we
avoiding
going now?
his wife.
Dan, I'm afraid of my wife right now.
Why are you afraid of your wife? What did you do
What?
this time?
To answer that question, I think a easier question. What have I not done in the past 5 days?
Fair. So we're meeting?
That remains to be seen.
Okay. Well, let me grab my gear and we can head down.
Tarek is then going to go knock on his own door. But we'll theater of mind that one.
Well, after you gather Saravine, you gather Junker, you gather the rest of your party, you all head downstairs and meet up with Thorin. Thorin, what would you like to discuss with the group? What is the purpose for you calling a meeting?
So, as everybody starts to trickle down, Thorin's just finishing up his nightly meal after a day spent outside training and trying to stay busy. And once everybody's together, he just kind of looks around the group and Sitting around here is not getting us anywhere. We need to figure out our next step. Where we go from here.
Anybody have any ideas?
Well, we can go back and talk to the head cleric, but that's going to be one hell of a trip. I'm not sure if they've also lost connection.
Well, you still have the stone to call them, don't you?
I do, unless that's also been compromised.
Well, worth giving it a shot. You said you did see Pathos yesterday, so... Did he say anything to you?
He did. He said that when the time came, I would know what to do.
There's a lot in that statement that leaves for open conversation. Well, guess let's start with that stone.
She will contact the hooded clerk.
You reach into the void with this stone. You reach out with your mind, trying to contact the hooded figure. And at first it feels like a connection is made for the brief blip of a second. Then it's gone. And silence is all that you have.
Is just gonna look at Thorn and shake her head.
Well... That doesn't leave good taste in my mouth. All right. Well, what do we know?
As far
Connections.
as
The connection's broken basically on the outgoing side, but the gods can still contact us incoming.
Pathos said nothing to you other than you will know what to do when the time comes.
She looks at him and he gave me something
now,
to use.
before you reveal this information, you have a decision to make. Do you tell them about the dagger? Or do you wait until it becomes pertinent at that point in time?
Well,
Because remember, the more people who know you have this dagger, the easier it is for that information to make its way back to the Raven King.
just as a
Right.
side note, the stupidest member of our party watched this transaction happen. And was then told who that was.
Yep.
So what is your choice, Seraphine?
Well,
She's
moment-
basically. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead. The moment she says that he gave her something, I'm going to make an insight check to see
Okay.
if I pick up any vibes of this is something that should not be spoken about where we're currently standing.
Oh, she's not saying it there.
Well, I understand that, but I'm just
You're checking vibes.
yes. And because he has the Sword of Zariel, this is at advantage. So 15 plus 7. So yeah, 22.
You can most definitely get that feeling.
Well, if he gave you something and told you will know what to do when the time comes, then I have a feeling it pertains to what's going on currently, and you should keep that to yourself until that time
Nods.
comes.
Tarek just raises an eyebrow and twitches an ear.
She looks at Tarek and says, if you want to keep those ears, you'll forget what you saw.
It's easier just to keep the mouth shut.
Can you honestly remember after a week's-long binge?
By all rights, this was yesterday for him.
Oh, that's true. It wasn't. That's true. That wasn't a week ago.
He has not drank since. So yes, he would remember everything.
Um. Well, let's put together what we know so far. As far as what's been going on, figure out where we go next. We can't contact the hooded cleric. The only other person that we know of here in town, at least, that's a contact for us is Caro.
Well, he's a bit distracted, isn't he?
I don't know. I haven't seen him. I haven't taken a trip to his shop yet.
Well, over the table, we already know about Alar, though.
Actually, in that regard, this party does not know everything that happened to Alar. Sorla was the one who felt the disconnect. But everything that's happened as far as information reveal has been given to the other party, not this one.
We had been told about Alar's tower.
Had we?
I think
I
you
don't
were.
believe you have.
I don't think so, because it was only discussed through Fenris and Lilyway. It was discussed through Sorla and Raiden and the rest of that group, who's been taking part in the RP. It was discussed at the council meeting last night, or yesterday. This group hasn't left Heartleaf. Nobody's come and told them anything.
Okay.
I blame Jeb for that.
I think in the time that's passed, one of the reasons why most of this group hasn't really seen Junker, he retired up to his room and hasn't come back down until you called him out. And when you called him out, he took a couple of minutes to take everything that he had taken out of his coat and put it back in. He was distractedly doing something when you knocked on his door. Kind of comes out of a lost side thought, and the way that I've started looking at the world is, divinity, the weave, and all the things part of it, they're their own kind of Mechanus. They are something tangible but hard to touch. And if that construct is disabled or damaged, it makes everything that works within it that much harder to do. I've been testing some limits here. while everyone else was taking your own approaches, I was pushing some of my own boundaries. And I'm not quite sure what I found. DM, considering that I have been otherwise indisposed and has not partaken in any of the regular RP on the forum with Junker, could I have been taking this time to make something to try and understand what went haywire with uh, the divine and or the weave?
Okay. What is it exactly you were wanting to do?
Um, so Junker, since he joined this group and well before, has always been a force of find the problem and fix it.
Right.
So as soon as that horrible twang of the guitar strings of fate or whatever you want to call it all snapping and everything going haywire, he went into that mumbling mode, and then we ended up going into the actions for the week, and his mind spiraled into how can I figure out what went wrong and where can I go to help fix it. So he's probably been working on building, for all practical purposes, a diviner rod to help him find where to go to fix the thing.
Okay.
Give him distance and direction.
A mini
It's-
Dragon Ball radar.
Yeah, pretty much.
For Doctor Who fans, it's a thing that dings when there's stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Goes ding when there's stuff.
Or when there's not stuff.
and occasionally it makes toast.
Oh, I love that one.
But
It's giving you a feeling and pulling you towards the south. Out of Altessi and across the mountains to a place you've already been.
what
Thorin-
everyone
pulls
else
out.
was doing. Go.
This is going to go in line with what you're doing. So Thorin reaches into his bag at his side, pulls out the map that he used with Karo to locate the entrance to the cave we dealt with last time.
Okay.
Rolls it out on a table. You get a feeling the map's here for you to point to where it's pulling you to.
He places the weird, mostly metal, partially wooden device on the table. It doesn't have knobs. It doesn't have switches or anything. It is a block. And the way I've been using it since dreaming it up, I suppose is the best way of putting it. He puts these two fingers on the item and pushes it forward. And as he has his fingers go in the right direction, there is a just small arc of electricity that jumps between his two fingers. It's in that direction. That's the way that we have to go to fix it. And he pushes his fingers across the slab up to a certain point where that electricity arc turns to a different color, and it's on the scale that we've got here. And he goes from where we're at, according to that map, across the entire thing to approximate. It's got to be within 10 to 50 miles of this point.
Now, as you are all looking at this map, seeing where he's pointing, you see he's pointing at a castle that is nestled very bottom of a mountain range.
Great.
We know that place.
We know that place well.
We know where the problem is that needs to be fixed. The thing that is interfering with everything. Whether it's that we need to deal with him and the problem, or do much like we did the first time we were out there and find ways to fix the bits that he had already fucked up. We healed that dryad. It doesn't necessarily have to be we kill him. We do have to find a way to fix this though.
I agree. It needs to be fixed. But at the same time, I think this problem may originate from him personally. And this is just a personal feeling for this. And if that's the case, then we do have to end him.
So what are y'all gonna do?
Guess we're heading south.
Well, before we decide on that completely, I think it'd be wise for us to take a trip to the one person in town who might actually be able to give us some assistance. At least answer some questions and give us some insight. You guys got everything you need.
To
Yep,
be fair,
got
as
my
long as I'm
camp.
not as long as I'm not spread out, I got everything I need all the time.
Fair enough. Let's go pay a visit to our favorite magic shop.
Speaking of everything I need all the time, hey Tarek, can you pass the bottle?
Absolutely. He passes him the bottle. Can I get a ride in your coat?
Yeah, I think we can do that.
As you
Opens.
go to pour from the bottle,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you find nothing's coming out. The never-ending bottle is empty.
I wish I would have known that earlier, because I've used that in the RP since everything's going on.
Yeah.
It's okay. We can retcon it. I
oh
didn't
no,
notice.
Lily can't have her.
I would have said something.
Lily can't
That's
have
fine.
her non-alcoholic wine.
I didn't think to ask about it because I figured with the impression that it was a magical item that was enchanted and bestowed, and that
Yeah.
was the cutoff point. There was.
It shouldn't have been affected.
But that's fine. We can retcon that. No big deal.
I have
It wasn't a big
my
thing.
reasons reasons, Cody. And I have an explanation for it, too. Y'all just gotta figure out where that explanation lies.
In your brain. Let me dig it out. Matter
Okay,
of fact,
smart ass.
I got my tools.
All right.
Don't tempt me.
Well, if y'all got everything you need, then let's head out to head off to Caro's.
Okay. As you all, journey out, you get to Caro's shop. And as you go inside, you see a few familiar faces. Raiden is there.
Yeah.
But the attendant, who sees you all walk in, says, "Welcome. What can I do for you today?"
Orland walks up to the attendant. He gives a nod to Raiden, and I'm assuming Aeson is still there.
Yep, hasn't left yet. He's waiting on Karo.
He gives a nod to both of them, walks straight up to the attendant, and gets down towards their ear. Need to speak Karo. It's important.
Well, he is currently meeting with another, but I shall see if he has time. The attendant walks to the back. About 5 minutes later, he comes back to the front and he says, "He'll be with you momentarily."
Appreciate the hastiness.
About 5-10 minutes later, he walks out from the back with Sorla in tow. He leans into her ear, says something inaudible to anyone else's ears, and then
Okay.
he comes to your group and he says, "Yes, what can I do for you?"
Well, one, I'd like to know if there's been any developments since the last time we saw each other. And sure you felt the disturbance that came about a week ago. A little less than.
Caro just kind of nods. He says, "Please step into the back. I'll be with you in just a moment. We have much to discuss."
That we do.
And
Until-
then you see him walk over to Aeson. He speaks with him for a moment. Oh, excuse me. And then you see Aeson walk over and leave an axe
Warhammer.
with one of the attendants.
Warhammer.
Whatever. Okay, Warhammer with one of the attendants. Caro just kind of bows and then joins you guys in the room.
Orland tips his hat to the others in the main storefront before he heads in the back room.
As you walk in the room, Caro's normal, friendly visage and demeanor just kind of drop. And you can see his eyes are kind of sunken in. You can see that he's much more tired than he normally is. You watch as he walks over and just slinks down into a chair with a sigh.
Orland will walk over and take a seat across from him. Brandon, you don't look so good.
Oh, trust me, I'm not.
Well,
Much has changed within the last week.
Well, after we got back here, we hadn't heard anything from anybody, so I figured it was time we settled up and got some answers. What can you tell us about what's going on? Because I know for a fact Saravine over here, till just yesterday, hadn't heard hide nor hair of her patron. I can't sense rain. I haven't had any effect on my skill set, but I know a few others who have mentioned that their shit don't work properly. And as a hunter, that's quite concerning.
You see Caro extend his hand, palm facing up. And as he does this, a small, pale blue flame ignites. And he looks at all of you and he says, "Picture this flame as the magic that holds this world together. And you see it shrink. This is what it is now. Whereas you watch it grow to about the size of a bowling ball. This is what it should look like." He closes his hand. This world that we call our home is in grave danger.
Given the visions we had while we were over in Silmaria, that much we knew. How do we get it back to where it was?
I pull Tarek out of my coat, let him out so that he can hear the conversation.
He's
So
dead.
the only way
He's dead asleep, by the way.
you can that I am aware of, at least, by freeing my father.
Father.
Freeing? Freeing?
Do what?
You said freeing.
Yes.
What's happened to your father?
Caro simply Dan. He walks up to you, Saravine. He places 2 fingers on your forehead. Suddenly, all of you... Or no, sorry, he doesn't do it to Saravine. He does it to you, Junker. Because you're the most magical being here. Considering you're pure magic, essentially.
Wrapped in flesh.
As he does this, all of you are given the vision Sorla shared with him. The confrontation between Alar and Vidar. You know, thinking about it, we have a lot of characters whose names have the R
Ending.
end of them. Sorry, distracted, ADHD. Anyways, you see this confrontation go down. You see Alar and Vidar arguing back and forth. Until finally you see Alar launch his disintegration spell. You watch as it kind of gets batted away by Vidar. And then you see the explosion, the tower crumbling. Nothing remaining. And as soon as the vision ends, Caro kind of slumps over, bracing himself with the table. And then he has himself a seat. And he just says, ever since that happened, the magic has been getting weaker and weaker.
You said that he's been captured. You used the term free him. You have an
That's my guess.
idea. Well, my guess is if you had an idea of where he was, you wouldn't be sitting here.
You're right about that.
So here's my question, because I feel like this is going to be a bit of a process. We know what must be done to restore things. We must deal with Vidar, but none of us here are ready for that instance just yet.
Okay.
So, do you have anything, knowledge that could lead us to potential things to help ready us for this conflict? Tasks that need to be handled that might serve to both empower us and set the foundation for what's to come.
He looks at you and he just kind of I don't believe I do. But we can train you.
Who?
Oh. Another thing. He holds out his hand and you see the ring on his finger kind of vanish. And in its place, he's holding the staff. He just sets it on the ground and lets go, and it just stands perfectly tall. We're perfectly straight. Junker,
Aye.
unlike before, you are not being overwhelmed by the divinity of this staff any longer. You hear Caro mutter, "Worse than I thought." And he points at you, Junker, and he goes, "And you're the proof. I saw how you reacted to this staff the first time.
Aye.
You're not having that reaction now. Things are
No.
far worse than I feared. And he just looks at everyone in the group. The gods are at war. Gods are fighting and dying.
Conker takes out that slab that he made and he starts fiddling with it while he's listening.
Whatever it is you're going to do, best to do it quick.
You mentioned training. Care to elaborate on that?
Training
Go
is
to the order. They can train you, build you up, and make you forces of nature.
Because I know a couple, and we just contact the one that you and Saravine truly belong to, and there ain't no answer from them.
Oh, trust me. They're in as much chaos as the rest of us.
Well, I don't doubt it. Their whole fucking shit and shebang has been centered around one god. It's not that weird set there. Anyway,
Your coins should still work. You must go there in person.
well, that means a trip back to Silvaria.
Seems
Not
so.
quite.
Not quite.
You see him stand up, adjust his clothing, walks over to the door that leads out into the shop. Says, where he looks at you, do you still have the key I had given you?
Yes.
Yeah, we still got it.
The door around back.
Mm-hmm.
Once night has fallen, use it. It will take you to my meeting room. From there, there's a second door. Use your coins, and it will take you to the main library.
Fair enough. Caro, I do have one other thing I'd like to ask of you.
Okay.
There have been, with everything going on, and what you say, what we've seen, there's a lot of tension, a lot of uncertainty. You you guys got a plan for what's going on? I know what we've got to do, and I'm sure the others that we paired up with are somewhere in a similar boat. But there's a lot of other parties that could be at play. Are they working on something?
I cannot say. But I assure you, all relevant parties are doing everything that they can to right this wrong.
No, if you guys need any assistance, I'm pretty sure somebody knowledge has already reached the Isle. You could probably check there for some help.
All
Been a
right.
while since I've been a while since I've been home, but there's very capable people there.
I appreciate the information.
Well, nightfall. Looks like we've got a little bit of time before we make ourselves known in the library.
As you all are leaving the shop, you've been there a good hour, maybe hour and a half, as all of this information was given to you. You are in the square. What are we doing?
First off, I'm gonna look to the sky. What's the time of day look like based on
About 3, 4 p.m.
Phew, okay. Well, in that case, you all need anything?
Currently, I just am anxious to get to the library and see the order of things there.
Well, he okay, so here's my question. This is more for the players rather than the DM. When Tarek
Okay.
was pulled out of the coat, he was asleep. Did anybody wake him, or are we just dragging a bunny along with us?
If he's still asleep, he gets put back in the coat. But it
Okay.
basically, I
was
wanted
gonna
him
say,
out.
yeah, just wrap a hand around both ears and just drag him down the road.
Oh no, I have a better idea. Hang on.
Oh,
So
boy.
if we're gonna make this decision, we're gonna do it all together. Junker, hold out your coat for a minute. Thorin reaches into the coat, grabs hold of Tarek after thinking about him, because that's how the coat works, and pulls him out. Stands him up all wobbly, still asleep, I'm guessing. Right, Cody? And kind of just, does that braces him up on his shoulders. And then backhands him across the face. Wake up.
For a second there, I thought you were about to try and weekend at Bernie's him.
No.
He immediately
I could've
flies
looked
into
something up.
rage as he wakes up, thinking he's being attacked by someone that is not so friendly.
Morning, sunshine.
Again, in a rage.
Yeah.
That means I've got a roll to do. Several, actually, with D8s. I think you're about to hurt yourself. Da, 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 da. Oh, well, there's a pixie smacking you in the face.
It's not the first time he's had that.
The shadow tendrils are also smacking you in the face. And also you're standing in a ball of rainbow.
That's a lot of shit for one rage, dude.
You can thank yourself. He's currently level 13, and he has his Tarek foot.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's a lot of shit.
Uh-huh. That's why when I went into a rage in the last session he was in, I was upset that I forgot to do these rolls.
Oh,
I
that's
got
fine.
that at level 5.
We got a few hours, Tarek. Wake yourself up. If you're tired, you only got yourself to blame for that.
Well, that's why I was napping, you shithead!
And we've got shit to discuss and figure out what we're gonna do before we hit the order tonight.
What part of
Put
I
on your-
don't think is not registering here?
Well, considering you're still alive and haven't been killed by your wife, I think there's something to merit there.
That just means I'm hard to kill. There's nothing to do with the thing in between my ears.
That's true. Oh, the lack
We'll
thereof,
need
right?
to. Speaking of, we will need to collect the others.
Well,
Yeah.
at this point, I'm pretty sure we're all just together. We left with everybody.
Yeah.
Um,
Can I go back to sleep now? Just throw me at
No.
the enemy next time. It works.
Jesus, Tarek.
Well, I can't help I'm exhausted.
Well, I mean, you
It
could.
can help being exhausted if, you slept instead of drinking.
And that's
Uh,
why I'm sober. So I can sleep.
Thorin reaches up. And let's see here. On his necklace, pops one of the beads. Or no, he doesn't pop it. He reaches up and flicks one of the beads so it lights up. And he reaches forward and uses the necklace of prayer beads to cast greater restoration on Tarek, ending his level of exhaustion.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Why do I feel
That-
like I just got a good night's sleep in 3 seconds?
Well, you don't get the benefits of a good night's sleep, but you can stop complaining about being exhausted. Ugh, we got to
Okay.
figure out what we're gonna do for a few hours until sunset.
I don't like being out in the open right now. Not in this city.
Trust me. I know what you mean, but the thugs and the bandits around here aren't gonna pull shit if they know exactly what they're looking at. You got a fucking bunny that's this fucking jacked like a goddamn brick house. You got a fucking tiefling who's muttering to himself over here. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. You're walking around beaming like a goddamn holy symbol at your own self. Junker's got a gun that's the size of him, if not bigger. They really don't want to find out what I am.
I don't think they
That's-
want to meet the sharp end of my nice axes.
So I think as far as that goes, we're okay. We won't have to worry too much about it. I still get where you're coming from.
You're assuming that they will use what brains they have.
That just means it's more fun for me. Bring it.
Oh, here's the thing, Saravane. Throughout my time as traveling and doing what I do, you don't need brains for your body to instinctively feel fear.
Especially not after what I just did to Thorin's face. Look at it.
You should be careful, because have you met his girlfriend?
Yes, I have. There's a reason I no longer have tar-flavored moonshine. And I can't help that he hit me first. He brought it on himself, and he got what he got.
I mean, for a minute there, it
Clefairy's
reminded
a
me of.
lot scarier than you.
That may be so, but still.
So, do any of you need anything? Do you need to stop by the armament shop? Do you need anything from Caro's shop? I know we just left there, but it's an answer. Do you need materials or anything that we can acquire while
Jennifer,
we're
do you need
here?
materials?
I've got plenty of materials. I'm having a rather painful thought, actually.
Oh dear.
Share it with the group, buddy.
We know how much of this problem stems around, it at least happens around Vidar. And do we know why he's throwing this fit? Doing all of this?
No, we don't.
Wouldn't that be
Whatever it
something
is,
that
it seems
this
like
other
it's
party would know?
personal.
We should ask that other group that was.
That might not be a bad idea. All I'm saying is, before I met any of you, any big problem fix that I got pulled into that didn't involve rebuilding something, it all stemmed from somebody having a personal grudge about something. Something they didn't think was right, and they wanted to right their own way.
I've seen the dark side of humanity quite a bit, so I'm not wrong about that.
It all comes from somewhere. We gotta find out where, we gotta find out why, and maybe we can walk some steps back instead of having to continue the same fucking cycle that's made it so it probably made it this much worse.
So, do we look for other members of this party, or do we head up and talk to Alex?
Oh,
I mean, hunting down either one, it doesn't seem like a bad idea, and it doesn't sound like it needs to be exclusively one or the other. If we're walking one direction, might bump into either party.
We just passed 2 party members of the other set
They
about an
were-
hour and a half ago.
We did?
We just
I can-
didn't. We weren't thinking about it then.
Exactly, but
now.
what I'm saying is we're standing right outside Caro's shop. It's not hard for me to track them.
That's fair.
That might not be a bad idea then.
I mean, if they're in town, I haven't seen them at the bar.
They
There's
may
more-
not.
They may not like that bar.
We've seen them there before.
Thing is they've been on a different path than everybody else has. Our path just happened to cross that one time. They may have some other place that they're staying. We don't know. The fact that we saw them here an hour and a half ago, pretty good chances that they're still in the city.
Well, the other thing
And
to
if their
think
group
about.
is anything like, if their group is anything like ours, seeing one or two of them means that the rest of them are somewhere around here.
The other thing we could consider, the lazy option, Alex is always up at the castle.
Except when he's not.
Well, last time I checked, he likes to go poof. So,
Well, we
Quite
haven't.
preoccupied.
He's probably got a lot going on, especially since There seems to have been a bunch of noise at the castle in the last couple days. Anyway, let me see if I can't get a read on the other, the two that we just passed. I think their names were Sorla and Raiden. We'll see. I don't really care about that count, so we can.
Wow, devoted.
Why does no one? Why does no one like Aeson? What the fuck?
Well, Sorla's got
Uh,
her reasons.
Yeah, Sorla's got her reasons. That one I understand. Why does Thorin not like Aeson?
No, it's not that he doesn't like Aeson. It's the fact that right now, that's not who he's looking for. Now, if you were to ask Raiden, that's a whole different story.
I'll have to ask you that in DMs because I'm curious now.
But, so Tyler, I am going to, since we're still out in the square, we're right in front of Caro's shop, Thorin is going to, take a sniff and, see if he can't track Sorla and Raiden.
Yeah. It's easy. I mean, they're your guys' characters, so would they have gone back to the keep, or?
Well, that would honestly depend on if Sorla got what she was looking for from Caro.
She got information.
Okay, so then probably.
All right, so yeah, you can easily tell that they went in that direction.
Perfect. Well then, let's
Looks like they're all going in the same direction. No matter who we go talk to.
seems that way. Let's head out, see what we can't glean from these guys, and then we'll make our way back. So, we'll head towards the keep, the castle, because the keep's a whole different fucking thing. And see if we can't meet up with either Sorla and Raiden, who are two members of the other party that we have seen, we know of that they are here, or Alex himself.
Okay. Well, as Alex is played by Jeb, who is not here currently, we're going to say no to that,
Okay. That's fine.
just so I don't accidentally reveal something that shouldn't be revealed.
Fair enough.
He learns.
Yeah. For those interested, during that scene he did last night, Badar was preoccupied.
Huh?
What scene are you talking about?
Tyler, you should have been told what was going on about that.
Might have been. Would I have been told directly from Brent?
Yes. Yes, you would have.
I'm reading through messages.
Confused.
Oh,
Yes. That.
got it.
That.
Got it. Yeah, okay. Anyways, you head to Arvindor, where you meet the other party. So how do you want to do this?
For brevity's sake, because I don't want to run through the whole thing, I think that we would discuss with them, and I think both sides share whatever information they've been able to uncover about the current problem.
Okay, sure thing. Any and all relevant information that has been given to you guys up to now from either Brent or myself is now known by your characters.
Fantastic. And I apologize for going quiet for a minute. My net said, "Hey, we're gonna take a dip for a moment."
Oh, okay.
So I'm back. So
right.
approximately how long does this whole thing take? Does it get us to nightfall?
A lot of information.
Yeah, for sake of brevity, it would.
Okay. So after, saying goodbyes and stuff, if everybody else has gotten what they wish to glean, we'll head back to the back of Karo's shop.
Do we know what? I know we just kind of learned a fucking lot, but we were in that home. We weren't in that home. That's a different group. Never mind.
What home? What home are you talking about?
They said that that part of their group was in that home. So if they were in that place, that
Oh, you mean the ancient city that they visited?
yeah, if that was supposed to be his home, what other possible memories did they uncover that they aren't even thinking of? Like, did they find a journal, a diary, stating certain small things that don't matter to a stranger at all, but matter greatly to somebody who knew them?
Oh, and before we get too far from that point, I do want to put something out there. Last Friday I didn't get to do it, but I got the okay from Jeb.
Okay.
Raiden found a staff in Illyrium that he can't use, and I was okayed by Jeb to have Raiden give that staff to Saravine cross party.
What was the staff?
It's an Irian Rosewood staff. I think it's a common staff, but it does let me bring it up for you. Irian Rosewood staff, it's a common wondrous item. It requires attunement, and when you cast a spell that deals radiant damage using this as your spellcasting focus, you gain a +1 bonus to 1 damage roll of the spell.
Sure.
So that would have been given to Saravine last week. I do apologize too, Tyler. I forgot to mention that to you. That was something I was wanting to do.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But it saves Raiden from carrying around a fucking magic focus that doesn't do him a damn bit of good.
Right.
You mean like Onbear and the ebony staff?
Yeah, well, so you can add that to your sheet, babe.
All right. Can you send me in DM what it is, and then I'll go look it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Junker, you bring up a good point. There might be some things that they've overlooked. But we now know that this somewhat stems from well, how else can you put it other than daddy issues?
I'm glad I never had that.
I
mean,
I can understand the reasoning, though. Um, this is a bit much.
Well,
when blame goes too far in the there's never the right direction for blame. When when blame goes too far, it, it throws all other reason out.
There's definitely no reason left here.
no.
No, but perhaps if we can't approach this from reason's sake, we approach it from an emotional one. Something to draw him back instead of away from their memory.
Well, here's the question. How... We know what he's lost.
Mm.
What can we levy that's equal value to him emotionally wise that would even scratch that? Would even give him something to consider? I mean, you just don't take... you don't start a world-ending event after the death of your wife and children, and you can't just... I don't see us being able to do anything that will... Not unless we could find the resting places of those people, but even at that point, I think it's been well too long since they've been well
Go on.
gone. Because if I'm not mistaken, knowing the accents of that and the let me check something. Yeah, that would work. Well, that was a brilliant idea, but it's not gonna work.
Big
What was it?
move.
Find the corpses of Idar's family and everybody use one of their potions of true res to bring them all back.
I
But true resurrection is a 200-year limit, so it wouldn't work.
As Tyler's thanking the gods that he didn't miss that loophole.
no. I'm actually thinking I may amend that potion a little bit.
Oh. The fact you made his gears turn, Denris. Good job.
You, even if the potion doesn't work that way right now, that's one of the things I've been toying with. You all are keeping them to have them useful, and by and far do that. I've been sampling mine out so that I can figure out how it was made. Maybe I can make it a different way that can do just what you're talking about.
First, if that all depends. That's a route we could go on. But a couple things have to happen before that's even a possibility. You have to be able to successfully recreate the potion in the way that we're talking. And we'd have to figure out if their bodies were buried or set to flame.
Here's the thing, though.
I'm trying to remember. I think
True resurrection doesn't need a body.
no. but you do need something from them, whether it be a hair or a tooth. You have to have some part of them.
Okay. Creature
If-
souls free and willing to touch a creature that is dead. Spell can even provide a new body if the original one no longer exists, in which case you must speak the creature's name.
We know their names. They need something their souls can attach to. The body can be reconstructed by the workings of the potion spell. Here's the thing though. The only thing that we really need then, as we go to their grave, we go to their home, we go somewhere like that, we find something that was attached to, was so dear to them that their soul would not let go of it if they were able, if they were unable to.
I think you're going in the right direction with that, but something you wouldn't need to find something. You find someone.
Here's the issue though. The way that we were told that things went with Tiamat the first time when we were on the other continent, and the way that they described what they learned, I'm wondering how much of the souls were left. That's my biggest worry about this. If it's not a
Well,
complete soul, it's complete waste because it's a different person.
Well, my other concern is if it's as simple as that, and as the others have said, Vidar has reached God status, why wouldn't he have brought them back himself?
perhaps in all his rage and fury, he hasn't even thought about it. Seems he's sole focused on making Pathos suffer
Perhaps.
and destroying everything that he's built. So I'm reading over the spell over the table, guys, and you don't need anything of the creature other than its name if its body no longer exists.
Yep.
And technically, we do not know Vidar's family's name. We don't know the name of his wife or his children.
Nope. But that's a visit that we could make.
Oh.
And the path has been cleared.
But we
But,
ourselves and not us.
Yeah. So, let's Junker, you keep doing what you're doing with that potion. See if it's a viable out that we can use. You can come up with a way to enhance its properties to a point where you can get it to do what we're thinking about doing, then that could be the ace up our sleeve to end this thing. Without any more destruction being wrought. Smart way of thinking about it, and I think it's got potential. If anybody can figure out how to do this, it's you. Let's
Well then,
hit.
I think it's smartest if you carry me along and I just get to it.
Well, here's the thing. We'll get to the order. We'll spend our time training there, and you can spend your time working on this potion within the confines and safety of the library. You'll have access to books that potentially give you information that you may need if you don't have it already.
You're not wrong.
So let's make our way to Karos. We'll get to where we need to go, and then get started on this little plan.
Okay.
So we'll go to Karos, and like before, back side of the shop. Thorn will pull out the key and open the door into Karos' personal meeting spot. He'll let everybody in first, making sure to keep eyes and make sure that they aren't watched entering this thing. After everybody's inside, he'll close the door after removing the key and relocking the door from the inside. And then they can access the second door with their coins into the main library.
All right. As you do this, and you enter the main library, the image you see in front of you is one of just utter chaos. As dozens upon dozens of people are running around, grabbing books, flipping through them at an inhuman rate, trying to find some answer to fix the problem they have.
Well, you all look to be just as much panic position as everybody else in this damn world.
You are completely ignored.
He wasn't saying that to gain anybody's attention.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Oh no,
But-
I fully went into saying that expecting to be completely ignored.
Gotcha. Anyways, as you're watching this scene unfold in front of you, the hooded figure approaches you all. And he just looks at Saravine. He's like, "Cleric, good of you to come. What do we owe the unexpected visit?" And he's looking at the entire group as he says that.
Well, Karo said that you guys would be able to help train us to get us to a point where we could help deal with the situation at hand. We know from a friend Junker here that what you guys are probably panicked about is the surge in the divinity in the world, the disconnect, and that's in the source of that's in Old Tax. More so the castle in Corvus that everybody's friend, the Raven King, is been bounding back and forth to.
We are aware. Trying to discover some way to get there.
Well,
We've been there the long way,
yeah,
but we're looking at a couple of other things. A couple of
possible solutions.
less direct than going straight into a situation that'll likely get us all slaughtered.
Well, as far as training goes, very well. We can assist, however, best we can.
And if you guys, in your vast amounts of knowledge here, have anything that can assist Junker with the recreation of a true resurrection potion, that
His eyes go wide.
We
Say
have
that
samples.
again, please.
I've been breaking down one that I found. Each of us have gathered at least one sample ourselves, but I've been trying to work it backwards so that I can find out how it was made, what it was made from, all of this.
You're
And
saying you have more than one.
yeah, everybody in the party has one. We picked him up in the castle before you pulled us from Ultex the last time we were there.
Pulls out a tankard. Everybody else has about this much. I have separated mine down to about half a vial each, and I'm trying to separate it down and find a way to recreate it.
He goes quiet. And then finally he looks at all of you and says, that potion hasn't been seen for at least 1,000 years.
Well, we have news. We pulled it from Vidar's seat of power.
Who else knows
So-
you have those?
You?
Keep
Only-
it that way.
I think it's about it. I don't think even Karo knows.
And even if he does, it's not like he's going to be giving that information out willingly.
Hey,
You see him look around a bit. And then he just turns and he walks off in the direction of a separate room.
follow.
And it kind of gives off the vibe of follow.
Picking that up, definitely. Thorin makes his way behind him. Junker said he's following too, so that's awesome.
When you all get to this room, he looks at all of you and then closes the door. And he pulls down the hood. And as he does, you see golden hair fall down his shoulders. And he puts his hand up to his face mask. He pulls it down as well. And looking at him, looks almost like Caro is staring you in the face. And I need everybody to roll me a history check, please.
Absolutely. Wow. Did you nat 20?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I rolled a 19 for 24.
Okay.
Nat 20 for 27.
Nat 20 for 21. The dice are with us today.
Okay. Dutchy, what'd you roll?
21.
Jesus.
You all instantly recognize this man as you met him on the continent of Silmar. Standing in front of you is Killian.
Actually, technically, and I'm just gonna throw this out for everybody else. Nobody here currently in this part in our voice chat knows this man because the only person who met him was Phileas.
You all went to his shop, didn't you?
Yeah, but we didn't go when the proprietor was in. Phileas was the only one who went back to gather his things and met Killian. Because we all dealt with the Luxodon.
That is fair.
But Philly did let us know that he met Carl's brother. We just don't know the face.
But we can put two and two together.
Absolutely. especially with the fucking higher minds we have in this party.
I just can't believe
The what?
the barbarian.
The higher
guy.
minds, the
Oh, yeah.
the Weaveborn, the cleric of Pathos.
The barbarian figured it out. It can't be that hard.
Anyways, you recognize him as Killian Everest.
Oh, ain't this a surprise?
And he
Awkward.
looks at you and he says, "Whether my brother knows you have this potion or not, keep it to yourself. You are free to study any book you can. But when questioned, do not give the real reason. Not all who are part of this order are trustworthy."
Oh, I can give a different reason if that is So we also have this other information, and I help break down what we learned as well. And so my thinking is, if we can find information about his loved ones, or if we can find a way to bring back his loved ones, we can find a way to fucking fix this without committing to an ultimate stupidity that ends us all.
As I said, any book in this library you are free to use and read.
Do you happen to have any
There isn't one called Census of Illyrium, is there?
There might be. Where? I haven't the foggiest.
I'm quite curious, though.
I'm gonna need some help.
Curious.
Yeah, is this a family affair, Miss Order?
One could think of it like that.
Fair enough. And are you aware of what's transpired with your father?
That I am.
And the fact that he's still alive?
Trust me. This world would have felt his death.
It felt his disappearance well enough.
Yeah, I didn't feel his disappearance as much as I felt a disconnect to the divine. But I'm sure you arcane types would know.
Pulling the slab out of my coat, I hand it over and go, "I need this to figure out where the problem was so that I could help fix it." And I show him the process. If we go anywhere and you don't hear from us, be sure that this will lead you, or whoever you send, to where we're going.
He takes it and he says, "Understood."
Sounds
And
good.
then you see him put his face mask back up and then pull his hood back up. He bows. "Cleric, all of you,
Master?
be safe."
Before you leave, hang on one sec. Junker, you made that to divine the location and where to go to fix the problem currently. Correct?
What to pinpoint the central point of what is fucking with the weave and the divine.
I have a question for you. Is that the entire purpose of that object, or is that the intent that you had when you activated it and used it?
That was the intent when I started building it. Kind of dreamt it up. There were a couple of days where I didn't really sleep and was sleeping all the time at the same time. At the
Oh,
end of it, I had that.
the reason for this, and he looks to the hooded figure, Killian. How much tinkering would that take for you to adjust that so that one of his sons could pinpoint his location? Now I'm talking about Alar. It's a fucking divining rod. It led us straight to where the location is that of this everything that's fucked up and where to go to fix it. What I just suggested is a lot less than what you originally put into it. Think you could pull that off? Because if we can locate Karo, then or Alar, then we could.
I mean, I generally remember how I made most of it. Like maybe 20 minutes out of the 3 days that I don't quite recall, but I could have not touched it at all at the time. I could probably put another one together.
Because if you can put another one together, or even just add a dual function to the one that you've already created, so that either our hooded figure or our hooded friend here or Caro could use it to, with their connection to Alar, could pinpoint his location, then that's another issue that we could potentially solve.
I mean, I think the fastest way to that looks to the hooded figure. Care to care to spare a drop of blood?
He pulls off his glove, holds out his hand.
He pulls out his tools. That multi-tool flips over, makes a needle. I'm gonna prick your finger and I'm gonna press it to that, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of rune work, and then I'll hand it back. His finger, presses it to the uh, wells up a pearl of blood, presses the finger to the slab, takes the slab, takes the needle, and starts doing some rune work around the thing to kind of goes into a fugue state of focusing so hard on a thing that he doesn't pay attention to anything around him. Takes him 20 minutes or so, and he finally pulls the needle away. The blood is all dried into place. Try that. Try that.
He takes the box.
Thorin pulls out the map again and sets it out on a empty table within the room.
He sets the box down on the map and goes through the process Junker showed him. Tormy, give me a performance check to see how well you made this work.
Oh, good. I have a 0 in this.
That is not a tinkering check.
Nope. That's still a 17 on the die.
There we go. It takes a couple minutes. Sure enough, it works. That's where we're going to end it for the night. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And for all those of you at home who wish to join in on the fun, please feel free to check out the Haven Discord server. Links will be posted and all that. But I am the Haven Master. And y'all have a good night, and may the dice be ever in your favor.
All right, guys.